Yeah, I just wanted to give my 2 pence on this ongoing debate about theatre etiquette. So there was an actress who went like nuts at the end of the show talking about disrespect because someone was texting on the phone. We've heard this before, some people, music might be on and they're getting into it, maybe they're moving, maybe a couple of words might slip out. Maybe someone on the stage said a joke, people laughed too loud. Actually, sometimes people are present in the theatre, and you get these kind of modern theatre audiences go absolutely insane. Because they don't want the people there, they don't want there to be anyone else there. They want it to be like their own experience. They want it to be just like when they're sitting at home in silence, no one around, just watching the actors. Don't know they're there. I don't know you're there. I'm just watching, which is a bit redundant. What is the point? Why did you come out if you didn't want to be around other people in a communal setting? It makes no sense. Just to give some background, I've been performing and making theatre my whole life. And I've performed at the Royal Opera House, Brixton Academy, Yard Assentoir, the Dog and Bone, the bloody, the Old Nag's Head, the White Bear Theatre Club, the Cetra Theatre, Battersea Arts Centre, Leeds Playhouse, the South Bank Centre, the Community Centre on Eastfields Estate. Because I am actually experienced and a professional audience talking, all that stuff, and I studied Shakespeare. So I'm a traditionalist when it comes to performing. To me, theatre and performance is for the people. They've come out, they've left their house, and they want something a bit different. They want a shared experience. You're laughing. Sometimes you're laughing so much you catch someone's eye. And did you hear that? Did you see that? That's all right. I like when you hear that. Sometimes actors would heckle the audience in front of the show, like in knee-high shows, and vice versa. The audience and the actors can have a bit of banter. It doesn't work in all shows, but we're all there. We're all present. The modern theatre where someone comes in and could still be early, but puts the seat down too loud, shh, be quiet, be nasty to everyone. Because middle class, upper class theatre goers don't have jobs or can get there early, don't need to eat, have eaten all day. There's someone coming in buying food from the theatre itself most of the time. You complain about people eating stuff that actually helps to enrich the theatre to keep the places going. They complain if people come and they've got families, God forbid, and they may need to occasionally check their phone. People that are actually operating in society as well as coming to the theatre, people go nuts. They go ham because, and the thing about a lot of these actors is they're not experienced. People say they're professional. No, this is a professional class of theatres, of actors. Sorry, they haven't performed in different ranges of places. The theatre, if we're talking about theatre etiquette, or we're talking about West End etiquette, this actor should have been going on stage raging about the prices and saying, why is there a lack of diversity in the audience? Why is it so hard? Why are there no working class people in the audience? This is the disgrace. Instead, it's all about her because we've got this celebrity casting thing. What is it called? Like shot casting, or I can't remember the term now, but it's a good term that I heard. Where people, with these people, they're so up their own asses, the prices are so high, that they forget about the audience actually, and the show and the production itself. Many things they forget about. It's all about them. It's all about me and my experience. Listen, that's garbage. Nothing should be about just you and your experience. If you always think about other people, it will all be okay. And if you have rationale and reasonability around other people, if you're reasonable, be like, oh, maybe that person has something going on in their life. Because people are messaging me saying, well, what if someone wants to, have a steak dinner from a frying pan in the audience? Yes, because that is reasonably going to happen, isn't it? What if people want to run on stage? The only people running the stage are, a lot of posh nutters, to be honest, that want to run on stage and use it to promote whatever bandwagon is going past. So that does happen, but that's not from people like me. I wouldn't do that. It's you lot, to be honest. And that's also a small minority, and I don't want to get into that argument. But I mean, if we can't accept that the theatre is a communal experience, and also define what we mean by theatre etiquette, you lot just mean who go nuts about this West End etiquette. But when you've performed in many places, at the Wire Bear Theatre Club, when we did our show back in the day, 2005, I remember people shouting, people heckling. You know, a lot of builders that were doing some work would come in after and come and watch the show whilst the work going on, and they'd tell their mates, come and watch a bit of theatre, and they were all having pints as well. They were heckling the hell out of us, and we carried on, and it was all a bit of a laugh. It was still theatre, by the way. It was still an incredible performance. I've gone on to write books and texts about that show and other shows. It doesn't, if you think I'm a moron, that's absolutely fine. We actually care, and I can have these views and never done anything in my life. But I know that quietly there are people out there that do agree with what I'm saying. So what is going on? Why can't people be dancing in the aisles? When people say the tension was so, amazing that you could hear a pin drop, well, what are they talking about? Why are they saying that? Why do people say that? Because at the end of the day, everyone acts dead silence anyway, so there's no difference. We're just acting dead. I studied theatre and read, old reviews and how it went on. When you read reviews and you hear people heckling, people drinking, partying, talking, and these are Shakespeare shows, so, I guess for people who are at me in the comments and DMing me, these are quite modern for you. I don't know what you think, because this is a traditional way of doing it. And you hear, there'll be, prostitutes in the venue touting their wares. There might have been people, gambling in the corner, and hey, it might have been cockfights, it might have been bear baiting. We don't do that no more. But the ideas are it was rowdy. People were still taking it in, and they'd go back and see it again. The problem is that it's so expensive. So it's nothing to do with someone texting, because the same people will complain about people eating. And before that, it was, taking a picture of the curtain call, but it's so much that people want a memory. My grandparents went to West End one time and watched a show. Not to make this all about me, but hey, this is my views. And they spoke about that their whole life. The time they went to the West End. I remember thinking, wow, the West End, wow. I realized, wow, that's one time they should go on about. One time. And it meant so much to them. They didn't have a camera on there, nothing, they couldn't take a picture. I understand what this means to people. And don't get me wrong, people can pay these high prices, they save up for it. Because they really want to do it. I think the prices are too high. But it is really difficult to put on shows, and everyone wants to get paid well, but then you want to harass the audience and bully them about, working people that are coming that may have to send a text or may have to grab some food because they're falling fucking asleep. They've been working all day, and that's probably alien to you. And if it isn't, maybe you haven't got the same health complications as other people. Diversity, there's no diversity in the theatre because there's none. It's one class of people who can afford it, who want to bully everyone else. So let's it needs to be improvement on stage and off stage. It's ridiculous. And people want to go at me, I'm a moron, blah blah, whatever. I don't really care, because I know that most people, without thinking about it, will disagree with me, to be honest. But if you just act reasonable, most people aren't going to go nuts, and they're not. It really bothers me. I was looking at him. I don't think it does bother you that much. It's the fact you're allowed to be bothered. You can moan about someone who looked at their phone. I totally do agree that we need professional actors on stage, and someone texting in the audience should not be a problem. I'm sorry, that's just, everyone's allowed their own line, their own taste. If you can't take that, get off, man. I've got thousands of people ready to go because we've actually worked. We haven't just gone straight from private school to drama school, bang, straight there. It has nothing to do with talent. That's just you've got a certain voice, expectations. I can see through all of it. Someone sends me about this person. I don't care. Maybe this person is great. Who cares? But not by not by my margin. I don't operate from your shit. So I don't really care. Perform in front of kids. I work in a relaxed venue. That helps everyone. Remember, we are all becoming disabled as we get older. Everyone is becoming. People are so entitled. Anyway, this is way too long. I doubt anyone watches this point, but If you do, hashtag Mentos. Peace.